All eyes are on the weather as we gear up for planting season, and I know the warmer temperatures also have us pumped up for county fair season. It'll be here faster than we know it. County fair boards are also watching the weather closely with entertainment and attendance. Depending on good weather, it can be like flipping a coin. That makes insurance a necessity. Robert Holmes is the president of Spectrum Weather and Specialty Insurance. His clients are nationwide, but his roots are in the upper Midwest. Robert grew up in Minnesota and then came to college in Wisconsin. He worked as a weather researcher at UW-Madison for about 8 years before starting his business. His job today is to help fairs protect their bottom line in case of a severe weather event or the countless other things that could go wrong.
Yeah, we've got a lot of different types of insurance products that help kind of ease that financial pain should there be a rainy night, whether it's a complete rainout of an event or just lack of crowd, so you're not making your walk-in revenue, your revenue in the beer garden later, or things like that. Or products that even respond to a complete cancellation, whether or no weather related. Could be a power outage or any other local emergency, and could occur days before the fair. So we've got a lot of different types of products that we can apply depending on the fair's needs. We have a product for excessive heat index that was developed a few years ago when a lot of our clients were telling me that it didn't rain at the fair, but it was so hot and humid that it really kind of crushed their crowd. So that's something we can insure now as well. And, again, depending on what they need, we have lots of different applications. I call them Lego blocks. We can build something that's customized for them and their needs.
It's a big deal to a community. And if you go without a county fair and they can't recoup, that'd be a huge blow.
Yeah, I think we all have to remember that, county fairs are about community, about FFA and 4-H, and bringing a work ethic from the kids and traditions, family reunion. I mean, there's fairs that their family meets at the fair every year, or they've been showing sheep forever, and it's really about that kind of those kind of values. And in order to do those types of things at fairs, many times there's some financial needs, and so they bring in rodeos and things like that to sell some tickets. People can have some fun, they can generate some revenue, and that's needs to be protected, because the next year, if they have a bad year, it might be a very minimal fair or no fair at all.
Was the COVID pandemic one of those big hits that kind of hit everyone?
It was. The fairs were canceled across the country. There was still a few that, depending on the state, that were able to go on, and depending on the activity. But yeah, COVID really kind of took a hit on a lot of the county fairs around the country.
Did people have pandemic insurance?
There was. You can buy part of the cancellation insurance policy then included some communicable disease cover. And so if you purchased it before the pandemic for your fair in July, if you bought it in January, you had coverage and there were claims. It was the ones that when the phone started ringing in March that they wanted it, that it was no longer available because it's already a pandemic, and it's still to this day not available. So you cannot buy coverage for communicable disease.
What's the price tag look like for some of these fairs? What's the damage one rainy night could do?
So you could have a situation like maybe you're doing a concert at the fair, and all your costs and everything might be, let's say, $40,000. And between ticket sales and everything else, your goal is to go over that 40 and maybe make $10,000. And then if it's, just a horrible night weather-wise, or, power goes out or something, you're refunding tickets, all that money goes away, you lose all your revenue, but you still have to pay the artists, the people that do the staging, sound and lights, they all still get paid. And so that can be easily a $40,000 or $50,000 loss. If you've got the insurance in place, that loss goes away. And so it's kind of you break even on the night and you kind of live to fight another day, versus just for a lot of fairs, losing $40,000 is a lot of money. But the same can be said for a smaller event, a tractor pull, where maybe they're losing $10,000 or $15,000 to that fair. Relative to their budget size, it's the same impact.
What's the worst you've seen?
Well, the pandemic certainly created some cancellation issues. I did have a fair 2 years ago in 2023 in South Dakota, where they had a concert one night and they couldn't even set up because it was rolling thunderstorms all day long. So it's unsafe to have people out there in lightning, and so they never were able to open the gate. So they had a claim for that. And then 5 days later, they had another concert, and the opening act played, and the headliner got one song in, and then the storm came in and literally shut the fairgrounds down. The Midway was shut down the rest of the night, and they had a claim for that. It turned out to be one of the, like he said, my client said it was their fourth most profitable fair because of the insurance claim. Otherwise, they would have lost money. So, yeah, those two concerts would have put them in the red, losing them without insurance. So, he said, never again will I have a concert without event cancellation insurance.
Have you seen a community rally together after devastation or anything like that?
Yeah, there was this year in northwest Iowa in the spring. There was a lot of flooding and summer, so there was actually some fairs whose fairgrounds were impacted. And I've actually talked to like some of the artists that were due to play concerts at those fairs, and what they did instead was, they decided to go out and have a fundraiser, and by contract they still get paid, if there's a flood or not, but in lieu of payment, they said, you know what, let's go out, we'll do a fundraising for the community, we'll get the fairgrounds back on their feet, and then we'll just come around and play again next year, so those kinds of things, kind of warm your heart, and as a company and myself, we always try to give back to the fairs too, whether it's through auction items at the different associations and things like that. So it's just, for me, it's just a great way of life, how these kids grow from little kids raising animals to, being fair board members, volunteers, and then being grandparents of those same kids. And it's just neat. I love it.
Robert Holmes along with us. He's the president of Spectrum Weather and Specialty Insurance. His background is in weather research, and he's taking that knowledge now to protect fairs from revenue losses due to severe weather events. For the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Stephanie Hoff.